Yeah, what's up, everybody? Here we are. It's the Plot Hole Master Debaters Best in Series Purge Edition. As you can see, some of the Purge Edition folks didn't show up. That's okay. We've got JL Warren. Where are you? This way? There he is. There's JL Warren. See that smile? Smile means he's getting ready for the Purge. Let's see. What do we got going on here? Awesome music. Thank you, Little Wolf. I appreciate it. That's actually Invasion at the band that I played last night. That's my band. I'm glad you like it. All right, so this is what we're going to do. Oh, Little Wolf says, hello, JL. I see you there. I see you there. All right, sweet. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do some trivia. We're going to do the trivia that I normally had planned, and then JL and I are just going to kind of banter back and forth about how shitty of a series this is. I don't like The Purge. JL, I think, does like The Purge. And right. Yeah, we could be having this bullshit with, Donald Duck. I mean, Donald Trump. Shit. Oh, man, I'm kidding. Let's see. Monk Wayfarer says, I haven't seen The Purge. No, you know what? It's okay you haven't seen The Purge. I saw the first two. I think I saw bits of the first Purge. No. It was election year that I saw. That was the one where I can't remember. It was the first. What? God damn it. Not this bullshit again. I can hear you. Let's see here. Keep talking. You're a jackass, JL. What is this nonsense? Commander Darklight, still no sound for JL? Or are you just messing with me? Jessica G. I might be able to make that happen. We'll see. Oh, damn it. No, I want Discord. Go away, Discord. Let's see here. What is going on? Why can't we hear JL? That's the question. How's that?
Can you hear me now? Now I can hear myself.
See, you can hear yourself. But now it's probably going to be all like echoes and shit.
Luke, I am your father.
That was never uttered in the film.
This is true. It was no, I am your father.
That's right. That's right. No, that's not a Nelson Mandela effect. I don't know what the fuck. I don't understand why it was ever even a thing. Like, why the Mandela effect. Oh, it's called the Mandela effect because people thought Nelson Mandela died in prison. No, they didn't. I never thought.
They misremembered.
They just are stupid because they didn't. Well, we're getting off subject. Quitties! What's up, buddy? I can hear him about 2 seconds before his lips move. Yeah, something's going on with Streamlabs. It did an update, and I don't know what the fuck is going on. So Jessica G says, so keep in mind, peeps, these are 2 of the 4 to 10 people that are going to attempt to break the world record for the longest stream. Robert Caslaw, yes, tonight is the Purge debate. And yes, we are going to make this attempt. We're going to do a test run next week. We'll talk more of that about. We'll talk about more of that on the Beardsman tomorrow. But yeah, he does have a delay. I don't understand why. Okay, so it's Streamlabs. That's what it is. Let me see.
So, wait, they can hear me before they can see me talk?
Yes. Yeah, and I'm noticing that on my end too. Like there's a delay. That's even. Weird. Yeah, it is weird. Again, Streamlabs updated right before going live, so I don't know if that's what's happening. I'm sure that fucked things up, of course, because whenever you update shit, it gets fucked up.
We have big plans for that big ass stream that we're gonna do.
So the 24-hour live stream is gonna be fun, and then that 7-day. I think we should really, if we're gonna do it, we should really do it. We should just destroy that one. But that one's gonna take a hell of a lot of planning.
It is but it's pretty much going to be 7 of the 24s. But yeah, we'll pretty much have shifts, and we'll just jump on and take our shifts as they go through. I may end up scheduling some time. I may end up scheduling some time off so I can do that. I wonder if I may end up having to take a week off just to make sure that I'm clear and I have no interruptions.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough. It's gonna be like we're disc jockeys, except 6 hours. I think maybe we should think about doing 6 4-hour shifts for that one.
Like 4 hours on, and then four, and then four, and then four. I mean, so that would be. So if there's 4 of us, that'd be kind of weird. Because then we'd be on at varying times. So.
Well, that's what I mean. Because isn't that the idea? Just like this weekend, or not this weekend, next weekend, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking that in shifts. We're taking 6-hour shifts, 4 6-hour shifts, right? And we'll have all that time. Robert Kaslow says, was that NASA interview I put on? I am not at liberty to discuss that tonight because tonight's supposed to be fun. We're going to talk about the Purge. Anyway, so I think that's what we should do with that week-long thing. That way we can have a little bit less people. Because if we can get 6 people to do it, then we can rotate. We can do 4-hour shifts. That way we don't get too boring.
So whose system is going to... I guess we'll figure that later. We got time to figure that out.
For that big one, yeah.
For the 24-hour, whose system is going to be running that, and who are we going to be calling into?
I think Nerd Angle is going to set that up, and then so that way we can just all dial into his system.
Awesome. And since this is all live, I think that takes care of the documentation portion. So if we're doing it all live, that should take care of any kind of documentation portion for the week-long thing. So we can make sure that they know that it's all documented like that if we go for the world record.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, let's get into the Purge here. Let's see here. Nope. I'll look into that later. So Prime Red says, at the plot hole, I don't know anything about the Purge, but I can come on and be a jackass. Well, we might have you on here in a minute. All right. So Mr. Mr. JL, what is it about the Purge that you like so much?
The films themselves are at least decent. They're not terrible movies.
I will say that. Yeah, I would agree with you.
They weave a coherent. No, they're not. They're well shot. They are well constructed. I put them in the same category as any Saw sequel. Anything of that nature. They do what they're supposed to do. They have a coherent narrative. They maintain continuity. Having some of the some of the same characters show up throughout. But the thing about them is their relevancy, in that in the face of the president that we have right now and the rhetoric that he has spewed that has led to some of the things that we are dealing with in this country at this time, it almost seems like we are on the verge of something like the Purge, with so much hate being fostered in so many different socioeconomic groups. It almost feels like this could be a reality. So that's what makes it unique, in that it's not like I could watch a Saw film and imagine like, oh man, this could totally be real. It's like, no, that's from a logistic standpoint, Saw is impossible. But from a logistic standpoint, from a political standpoint, given what we've seen today, the Purge is something that could potentially, we've seen enough politicians, if they can get behind something, they can make something happen. They can either make or break anything depending upon what money goes into what pockets. So, yeah, it would take an extreme. I would say, shit like this is no different than imagining that the government that in V for Vendetta existing,
right?
That kind of extreme right-wing, conservative, insanity, or I would almost say like a Christian, like a heavily religious ideological conservative mentality. It's scary to think that it could happen. And we joke about it because we need to be able to laugh about it to ease the stress and tension. But we also joke about it because the very real possibility that the person who's up in the White House, this is something he probably wants, or something he thinks is cool, or something that he thinks would solve all of his problems and shit like that. And as we know from watching the movies, we know that the Purge is not about getting out all your frustration and your anger on one night of the year when all crime is legal. It's about the underlying theme of it is population control.
Right.
Is basically because when you eliminate what they do in the movies, when you eliminate minorities and you eliminate the poor and you eliminate the sick and you get rid of all these things, they no longer become burdens upon the taxpayer and upon social services. And without money going to service them because they all die on one night, or they're all cold in one night, because that money's no longer there. That money can be freed up to go into healthcare, into infrastructure, into job creation, all kinds of things. So there's a very, very sick logic to the Purge, which, given the administration today, they could go. I could literally see them saying, this makes sense. This does. Maybe there's a unique way we could do this. Now, it doesn't have to be the new founding fathers of America or some shit like that. It could literally be, this is what we do, and it's like, what the fuck?
See, the problem I'm having with this is I have a bet going on with what you guys remember when Jackson was on the show. So yeah. Oh, hang on a second. I think I may have figured out why everybody's weird. Let me just do this really quick. You might get an echo on JL Warren here in a second. If you do, just say echo.
Echo.
Not JL.
Oh, okay.
The audience. If you get an echo on JL, just say so.
Oh, I like that. Robert Caslow. The first Purge movie was dope AF. The last Purge sucked so hard it caused a hurricane. I agree. The first Purge was not great. The first one is not my favorite. In a formal debate, which is what this was supposed to be, with individuals with a panel representing each entry of the Purge, I would be representing the third one, Election Year, and I liked Election Year more than the other ones. This is one of those rare moments where a trilogy, where the first three in the trilogy went up and then was up and then down and then up, and I thought Election Year was strong because the narrative of it was the best, because we got to see it from both the street angle, like we saw in the first film and in the second film, because when they were in downtown LA. But we got to see it from the Washington, D.C. side, where we not only got to see it from the street angle and from the minority angle, but we also got to see it from the political angle, and how, obviously, I thought the first one, Commander Darklight, I think there's, whenever the Streamlabs updated, something changed. I need to go back in there and reset everything, but I'll figure that out sometime. The echo should be gone. Anyway, so the first one I thought it hit, that was part of the whole idea of it, right? That the Ethan Hawke's character, he was selling these bullshit home defense, whatever, cages and whatnot, that people that he knew were just bullshit. They were deterrents to other people who respected the deterrent, but anybody who wanted to could get into these places. Yeah.
They were
with enough effort. With enough effort, right. You could get in.
Right. So they were kind of riffing on the false sense of security idea, but they brought in the minority effort when the son opened the gates for the black guy to escape. He was talking about how he didn't want to be a part of it because he was kind of just forced into it. He didn't have the luxury of hiding in a home that had these, identifiers to say, "Hey, leave us alone."
That was and obviously the first big clue that the director and Blumhouse wanted to go for was they were sowing the seeds for where it was going to go, and it's interesting to see them do that so quickly on, because typically in your first film you just get like your enclosed narrative. This is what's going on. The Purge is a thing, and then if the Purge is successful, we'll move on to the things. But the dropping the seeds about the fact that it was a homeless African American who was being assaulted by these fucking yuppies, and that were younger than him, and the fact that I think he was a war veteran too. But the fact, they sowed that little seed there. It was like, but there's a specific reason as to why that individual was targeted. And I like that thought, obviously Blumhouse, Jason Blum, and everybody over there behind the Purge, they knew what they had and they plan on going the distance with this. So, I mean, heck, they're the guys that gave us the new Halloween, and they got a bunch of cool shit under their belt. So, I mean, they obviously know what they're doing. That's why I like it, because the franchise is smarter than your typical, Friday night slasher.
Right. They were definitely forward thinking on this one, and I think part of
Yes.
it was that right now, if I were to get greenlit for a horror project, I would make sure and have like 3 or 4 films written, just because. I mean, the horror genre is the biggest sequel genre out there. I don't think there is a bigger sequel genre than horror films. I mean, look at every last one of them. Every last of one of your major horror films has 5 or more movies in the series.
Yep. You have to be at least prepared. You have to be at least prepared to be able to extend a light. It's just like and yes, Jessica G, you are correct. Frank Grillo was off the fucking hook in all of those films. He is absolutely awesome. That's why I especially loved him in the third one, when now he was working for a senator who's trying to stop the Purge, because if she wins the presidency, the new founding fathers know that she's going to shut it down, and and Frank Grillo is her lead bodyguard to get her through the night, because they knew the new founding fathers, because that night, in order to kill her, they released the level 10 restrictions and said that now government officials are now targetable. So, which is obviously the escalation, which event you'd see if this were a real thing.
Right.
But going back to what you were saying, yes, even us, we have a short film that we're going to be shooting probably this winter, and late fall, early winter. We're going to be going up to Ohio to shoot it, and that thing is only. You've read it. It's only like 8 pages long.
Yes, I'm going to read for it, everybody. I want everybody in the chat to hard campaign to get me this role.
So we're going to and no, Grillo was not the first one. He was in 2, and he was in 2 and 3. But we have but that is a short. It's only an 8-page short film. But I have a treatise plotted out in case this were to expand into something larger. Yeah. Because we don't know what could happen. Because we intend to festival this short film, and you never know what can happen at a festival. Someone could come along and see it and go, "Holy shit, this could make a really good feature," and we could go somewhere with this. So I have a treatise planned out in case to expand all the characters, to give backstories and like that. Backstory on the location that we're shooting. I don't want to give too much away, but backstory on the location and backstory onto why time plays a major element in this film and stuff like that. So I have that all planned. I just haven't written it yet because I may not need to. So in that respect, you got to be prepped, because you never know what
shit. You never know, because you could do this short. You could make this short film end of this year, and it could bomb at the fucking indie film festivals. I mean, hopefully it doesn't. I hope you guys do really well, but it could bomb at the indie film festivals. But somebody just fucking sees it. I mean, hell, look at fucking. Oh Jesus Christ! What is this? Boondock Saints.
Yeah,
that guy sold his script in a bar. You know what I mean? So have that written.
That would be Troy Duffy.
Yeah, that guy's an idiot.
Troy did not. That is the prime example of someone of what can happen if you are not prepared to deal with what you are dealing with. Mm-hmm. So. Even if you can't say that what I have is gold, but you never know. One man's trash is another man's treasure. So if someone sees something that you don't, that's one of the roughest things that we learned in board games, because I run a board game I have a board game company called J Squared Games, and we've already created one board game. We have several in the works that we're currently putting together. Making a board game is a very slow and arduous process. And it took 3 years for us to for us to get our first game, Briefcase, to I would say a prototype level that we are comfortable taking out and letting people play and play test it. And we have others in the works, but we discovered that even if there's hardly any money in making board games, despite how much people love them, unless you self-publish, which is very, very expensive. Yeah. But if you make a board game and you sell it, I would say 99.9% of the time, the publisher you sell it to is going to take your design, strip it down to its bones, and then reskin it with something
Yep.
that they have a license to, and then they'll sell it solely under the license, and they don't care
Right.
about your mechanics. And that's simply because when you make a board game, when a board game is made, you cannot trademark or copyright game mechanics. Game mechanics are free. Anybody can use them. You could take tic-tac-toe and you can reskin it as something else
Yep.
and sell it under that, and you could still sell it. Yeah, I could do Monopoly. I could strip Monopoly to its bare bones, slap another license onto it, and I could sell it as that, which would be, because game mechanics are free to go, but it's very hard, and it's been rough trying to move, but it's fun. We get to make board games, which is pretty cool.
That is that has got to be fun. Get to play board games. So
Jessica
hang on a second,
G,
really
yes.
quick before you read that, before you go with that,
Go
we've
ahead.
got one from Monk Wayfair. It says, "JL Truth, I've replaced your toilet paper with duct tape. Let the game begin." And then Jessica G says, "I replaced your toilet paper with pictures of Team Skeptic. I figure why not wipe your ass with an ass." Hey, everybody!
So,
if you want something read, we don't do.
I want to
chats
play
yet.
a game.
There you go.
So,
hang on a second. If you want something read, just at the plot hole. That way it catches my eyeballs, and I'll do the best I can.
So let me see here.
Go ahead.
Jessica G says, where did she go? JL plays D&D for sure. Actually, yes, I have played D&D. I'm not a big fan of fifth edition or fourth edition, although I have played them. I'm a big fan of advanced second edition D&D. That's the one I really like. I thought that was the purest form, and that third edition, fourth, and fifth. Wizards of the Coast have ever since Wizards of the Coast bought out TSR. I think that they've really dumbed it down, and they've made it much more approachable from casual players. But I'm a big hardcore D&D player. I really, really like second edition advanced D&D. That was my favorite. That's what I grew up playing. That's what I really grew up playing. I started with the standard TSR modules that were just the little pamphlets with the grid. Really got hardcore in second edition, and I think there's some stuff that Wizards of the Coast has done really well that they've added to. I like a lot of the classes they've added in. I thought they've expanded it quite well. They've made it easier for people to embrace, easier for casuals, and that's good. That's good money wise, but it's just kind of like to me. So I like going back to the hardcore stuff. 2, JL paints D&D figurines. I just know it. No, I don't paint D&D figurines, but I have played
Warhammer figures.
No, I don't do Warhammer.
Yes,
I don't do Warhammer either. I do War Machine.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Which is a competing tabletop deal. I have many. I actually have my collection in my closet. I have painted many of those.
And
for anybody who knows,
gray pants blue.
For anybody who knows War Machine, I play Crix, and so I have a shit ton of those miniatures that I have painted. And I think I've done a lot of custom work on those, custom mods, which I'm quite proud of. I really like those. But Jessica, to clarify, I do play D&D, but I do not play it as much as I played Rifts, which is a system by Palladium, and I'm a huge, huge Palladium fan. I have every single Palladium book ever printed, including the stuff that's defunct and is no longer, like Manhunter and shit like that. So I'm a huge Rifts fan. I love that system because it takes a little bit from GURPS and it takes a little bit from D&D. And Kevin Ciambieta, as big of an asshole as he is, he really did something smart. And not to mention the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are a part of that because at one time Palladium owned the rights to TMNT. And they actually did role-playing games based off of them, which I thought was really fucking cool. And so I can wrap all that up into a Rifts game, which is a lot of fun.
That was a lot of nerdgasming you just did there.
I don't know if I get to talk about my tabletop a bit. Yeah, I mean, because we've been quarantined. I can't play. We can't really play. We're pretty much stuck in the house. So, but yeah,
Jessica G.
Nerd collection.
Jail's my favorite Uber nerd too. Now, here we go. We need to get into the trivia before we get too far off in here, just in case. Ilya, everything's okay? You had an emergency poop up. Well, that would definitely fall in line with your issues that you were talking about last night. All right, so I don't know. Jessica, I'm kidding. I mean, not Jessica.
No, I said thank you, Jessica, because I'm her favorite Uber nerd. Yes.
Yes. I mean, again, he's my favorite Uber nerd too.
I mean, come on.
I'm a nerd, but I'm only a nerd about certain things. Like earlier when Team Skeptic was on whatever the fuck he was. What show was he on? Ilya. It was on Ilya's show. Golly, I'm sorry, Ilya. It's been a weird week for me.
He's on EIE, right?
No. It was.
Or was that Sit Down with Debunkers?
Sit Down with Debunkers.
That's it.
But yeah, so and then he started talking about Star Wars. The funniest thing was when he started talking shit about people who didn't know Star Wars, like they didn't know the Star Wars story, and then he was fucking up the Star Wars story while talking shit about people who didn't know the Star Wars story.
Wow.
Yeah, that made my Forrest Whitaker eye fucking kick in full gear.
Yeah, that's a big nerd faux pas.
Yeah, it
big
really
nerd
is.
faux pas.
If you're gonna talk shit about people who don't know Star Wars, you better know your shit. Okay, because people like me, we start doing this. Okay,
but I will shit on 7, 8. I will shit on 7, 8, 9 before I shit on the prequel, and I will shit on the prequel before I shit on the Holy Trilogy.
Okay, I'm gonna get back to this Purge trivia because if we get off on Star Wars, we'll be here forever. Anyway, you want to win this guy right here? All right, this is a Purge mask from. I believe this is from the first Purge. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if you can see it yet, but I think this is from the first Purge. You can win this guy here by participating in the live chat in the trivia. Also,
I believe that is from the second one that they introduced. They introduced. It was at the second one or the third one? No, the election year introduced the Statue of Liberty one and the Uncle Sam one. Right. I believe that is from the one when they were in L.A.
Okay, all right. So yeah. Robert Caswell, Jar Jar Binks wasn't as bad as people think he was, and had George Lucas not changed his character arc last minute, we would be having a completely different discussion. Yes, Monk Mayfair, the Star Wars might come up. Also, there's a Betsy Ross back there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's behind me, and I'm not going to grab it right now. Anyway, so here is the first trivia question, and this is going to be an easy one. I hope everybody's paying attention. All right, so the first person to answer this question correctly gets the point. We're going to do 10, looks like 10 questions. Yeah, 10 questions tonight. Whoever gets the most will win. So how often is the Purge held? Again, put your answers at the plot hole in the chat. We'll come back to it here in a minute. All right, so JL.
I almost did a Jeopardy theme, but then I saw Nathan's face in my head, and I was like, no,
don't do it.
No, don't do that. I was like, PTSD.
Yeah. Talk about Forrest Whitaker eye. Oh, man. Daryl M., you bite your tongue. Don't you talk about Baby Yoda like that.
Daryl M., that is awesome that they're doing a closed beta for Dune RPG based on D20. That's kind of interesting, and I think you would need the D20 system for something as extensive and as expansive as Dune. I'd be very curious to see what they put into it, because just like the movie, there was so much in Herbert's original novel that they had to cut out a shit ton to make the movie work. And when you have an RPG of that, to put everything into an RPG of that size would make the RPG very, very big, just starting out, because there's so much you can put into it. If they put it all in there, that's awesome. That means, this will be a giant fucking system and a huge game with a lot of shit that you can go through, and that enhances replayability. But it could put off a lot of people, because casuals who just want to try RPGs may not like that. So they may look and say, oh my God, look at the size of that. I'm going to start with this much smaller module. So maybe they put it all in, they break it up into sections and into like individual modules. That would be cool. I'm very curious to see what they come out with.
All right. Now back to the Purge. And a word from these sponsors. Let's see here. Robert Caslow, I will give it to you, even though you didn't put at the plot hole. Shame. I know your name. But yes, once a year. So the Purge is held once a year. Robert Caslow, very good. All right, so JL.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first off, how long does the Purge last? Everybody, how long does the Purge last? Back to the Purge talk. So
are you asking me?
No, I'm asking the chat. That's the trivia question.
Oh, it's the second trivia question.
Trivia question, how long does the Purge last? All right. Out of all of the storyline, I know there's a one giant storyline, but out of all of the chapters in this storyline, which one do you think is the best?
Me personally, I'm the biggest fan of number three of election year. I thought election year was the smartest of them. In fact, if we were doing the full fledged debate, I mean, I have a whole thing as to why, just like I normally do. I have my entire argument typed out for why it's the best, all the reasons why it's the best. But as far as like returning characters, we get to see Frank Grillo again. I really like the political side of it. Um, it was excellent because it was a great portrayal of how if something like this were to actually exist, obviously there would be people in the government who would take advantage of it to their own ends, and that is they would use it to try and maintain it and get rid of their political rivals or their political enemies. That's just a matter of time. But it was also a great depiction of how, in the face of government malfeasance, in the face of something like this, that the people that I'm always a big fan of showing that the American people, if they did rise up and unite together as a whole, even this government would not be able to stand. Yes, there would be massive casualties, but this government could not stand if the American citizenry got up and stood against the government. There's just too many of us. You know,
I will say that in the storyline that I liked the most was the first Purge, simply because it showed how this wasn't going to be a thing. Like, it wasn't successful until you had, I think it was corporate or government involvement. This whole thing was a bust in the first Purge. They actually had to incite.
They had to incite it, yeah, by sending in like mercenaries. Yeah,
yes,
they had to like to show to get people in the spirit of doing it. Is like, hey, they're doing it, I can do it too, because people were so trepidatious about crossing that line.
Right.
But when they saw others do it, as is typical when you have group mentality or mob mentality, the first person to throw something.
That's it.
It will get everybody throwing shit. You just got to be willing to be the first one. And then the NFFA realized we got to get this thing going, so they send in ringers to go in there and start fucking shit up. And
right.
Lo and behold, there you go.
So that was one of the things. That, and then the first one, the whole idea of you're safe, but you're not really safe.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of did it for me.
And I will give it to the first one, because the first one was strong in the sense that you never really know. It plays on the trope of you never really know what the people around you are thinking.
Right.
Because if the Purge were real, okay, that means on this particular night your spouse could kill you, your kids could kill you. Your coworkers could come after you because they know where you live, because you got employee of the month too many times in a row, and you get all the accolades of that, and they're all jealous. That any kind of envy or jealousy or whatever, anything of that, they'll see that, and this is their opportunity to take what they want without consequence. And so once you get into the habit of doing that, that's a big thing. But I love that notion that you, like, at the very, very end, when the neighbors come in and they think they've saved them, when actually, no, we were just waiting for an opportune moment.
Right.
To take, basically, we were waiting for them to whittle you down so we could come in and finish you off, because we fucking hate you because you're so goddamn rich.
Yep. Exactly. And that's kind of a cool thing that they riff on, is the idea that the thing about that really kind of hooked me into the first Purge was, it wasn't, hey, all murder is legal. It's all crime is legal. And most people would think, well, fuck, that means I'm going to go rob a whole bunch of shit. It's not that you get these truly sadistic people out there, though, that want, I can kill. That's one of the reasons why I don't think the Purge would ever really happen, because yes, there are some really sadistic motherfuckers and some truly sociopathic and just crazy fucking people out there. I don't think that the general population as a whole would get down with just openly killing people, even if they could get away with it.
I think there would be hot spots.
Sure.
I think there would be places in the country where, because what you would eventually see if this were to legitimately happen, you would definitely have hot spots where it was extreme and just like, that is Purge territory. And then there would be areas where they simply did not want to engage, and so everybody would just lock themselves in for the amount of time. I don't want to give it away, They don't. They would people just lock themselves. I remember.
You almost did
But
it.
people would just lock themselves in their homes until they heard the warning siren, and then they would just carry on with their lives. You'd see that for a bit, but then you'd also see population shifts because eventually people would leave areas that were heavily purge afflicted, and they would move to other areas, and you'd actually see the population kind of spread out. You'd see rural areas become more populated, and urban
Nebraska.
areas and then you'd see urban areas drop. And if you wanted to do that, heck, on purge night, just go out to some really far place, like really remote place, some place, and just take out the owners of that home.
Really? Yeah. I mean, again, talking about Nebraska, that'd be a perfect place to the flyover states. I mean, how many people
Mm-hmm.
live in Nebraska? I can count all of them on one finger.
Yeah, you just deuce out. And I found that, and you'd see population shifts. You'd see rural areas become more populated, urban areas would become less populated. Um, it would have a trickle down effect throughout the entire infrastructure of America. What I found most interesting, and that's why another reason why I like the third one so much, was the cap, because even in the purge there are going to be people who try to capitalize on it. Capitalism doesn't die in this
Yeah.
society, in this purge society, which I
Well, the
love.
purge is born on capitalism.
Yes, and anything you can make money off of, and the idea of murder tourism
Yes.
is just freaked me out because I'm thinking, oh, hold on a sec. There are other countries. Obviously, there are other countries there that would not want to, that don't have their own purge, but people who want. But that means that those individuals who want to do it are the twisted motherfuckers who want to murder people. So
Yes.
these tourists are going to be the ones who are going to buy temporary visas to come over here, or purge visas to come over here just for purge night and do the shit, and then go back to their home country, knowing that they can't be prosecuted for what they did here in America. So murder tourism is really, really is so obvious that would start, but also crazy. Is like, what the fuck? But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it would be too easy. Murder tourism. I mean, well, we wouldn't need the hostel anymore. All right. Anyway. All right. So yes. Back to this here. How long does a purge last? I was paying attention to the chat, and Monk Mayfair was the first correct answer with 12 hours. Yes, it is a 12-hour, dusk till dawn type thing. Was it like 8 to 8 or some shit? The specific
No, I think it's like 7 to 7.
7 to 7. That's right. 7 to
Yep.
7. It's 8 to 8 Eastern Standard Time. No, it would be, that's bad. Let's see. Okay, all right. Number 3. What plays over the opening credits? During the purge, what plays over the opening credits? Remember,
I
at
would
the
have thought
plot
you.
hole.
I would have thought you'd have played this over the start of this. That would have been funny.
I wanted to. I really did, but I couldn't. Like I said, everything was going. That part of the reason why this got pushed back from the 2 weeks ago was because there was an issue with systems, and I was trying to get that going, and it kept crashing, and then it was a fucking mess.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what plays over the opening credits? Again, at the plot hole, and then your answer. Yeah, what were we talking about? What the fuck were we talking about? I don't remember anymore. This is what happens when you get old.
Well, we were talking about which one I like the most, and I thought 3 had the best story. It was the best narrative of them all. Um, but the other ones have good moments. I thought 2 felt like filler
It
to
did.
get from 1 to 3.
It did. So that's the reason. So when people talk about how well the storyline was like the streamlined storyline, 1 was definitely an outlier, right? So the first one,
Mm-hmm.
other than to say that it was part of the purge, is what got people interested in the purge. It didn't fit in with the timeline that the other 3 films and probably 4th film has done. So that's, oh shit, damn it. Sorry, I'm over here trying to automate stuff while talking. All right.
He's
Anyway,
multitasking.
I'm multitasking and not doing a good job at it. But anyway, so yeah, the first one was very much an outlier, and I wish they would have. There was tons of stuff they could have done to link into the first one, other than it being the purge. They could have. I mean, they could have used the homeless black guy. He could have been in the second one. because then they riffed on some of that stuff in the second Purge.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of where I was at with the first one.
And I thought, as far as the first one goes, all of them. I mean, it was a decent little. I mean, it could have been a standalone if the franchise was not successful. It would have been decent as far as that goes. I like him. I'm a fan. I like Ethan Hawke. Lena Headey obviously is amazing.
Yes.
Everyone was solid in
That's
that film.
what gave that first film credibility was Ethan Hawke and Lena Headey. Having those because I don't know, for me when I first saw the premise of the movie, I was like, this is fucking stupid. This is stupid. And then it's all Ethan Hawke. I was like, oh, he's a pretty good actor. Maybe I'll give it a try. And then Lena Headey was like, okay, she's a pretty actress. I mean, a pretty good actress. Sorry, give that a try. So yeah.
It's like I liked him, and I mean, I even like Ethan Hawke in Daybreakers. So I thought Daybreakers was actually it's low art, yes. I mean, Ethan Hawke himself said that it was low art, but it had a theme. It had a theme that is relevant to today. We're looking at the loss of natural resources and the depletion of natural resources through greed and capitalism and stuff like that. So I felt that it was neat. It was nice to see a horror movie, a vampire horror movie. Mm-hmm. Something new inserted. It wasn't the greatest it could have possibly been, but it was still fun to watch. And of course, you got like Willem Dafoe and Sam Neill were always fantastic. And of course, it was the effects were really well done, and just a good fun vampire flick.
Yeah, and I will say that I'm not a huge fan of vampire movies. They've just never been a genre that's interested me.
Have you seen Only Lovers Left Alive?
I don't think so. I think the last true vampire flick I saw was Let the Wrong One In.
Let the Right One In.
The Right One In. Shit.
Okay, hang on a sec. So, number one, Let the Right One, did you see the foreign version or the American version?
Both.
Because the foreign one was light years better than the American.
Everybody always says that. I think it's just because we're snobs and we think that the original's better, which is generally true. Generally.
And
there are times when it's not.
And two, I think that you would enjoy Only Lovers Left Alive because it is as much about, because one of the themes throughout Only Lovers Left Alive, number one, it's Tom Hiddleston and Tilda Swinton, and who play vampires.
I'm not a huge fan of Tom Hiddleston.
Well, they're both excellent in this, but one of the major themes is music throughout the generations that they have been alive. So the two of them have been alive for hundreds of years, and as a couple, and so they've been together, doing their thing like that. And one of the big themes throughout the movie is the musical influence, the effect that they've had on the music industry, and the effect the music industry has had on them, and how it has changed. And how ultimately towards you get to see that music is one of the few things that really keeps them attached to this world, and how amazing music is and how important it is to, kind of, I guess, finding that. I don't want to talk about, like weird like supernatural shit like that, but people get kind of a connection out of music. And how instead, if you're alive for 200, 300, 400 years, you could lose your humanity and you could just, become an animal or do whatever. But music keeps them grounded. Yeah. And the shifting of music taste and how music has evolved through the centuries is really, really integral to their story. I thought, because you are a musician yourself, that would be something that you would really appreciate.
I have to check it out. Really will. I mean, when you recommend a movie, I know it's not shit. Except that time you recommended.
Recommended what?
Top Gun.
Oh God. And yes, to everyone talking about it in the live chat, yes, the Carl Urban Dread is bad fucking ass.
Carl Urban?
Oh, yes. Carl Urban was Dread, and Lena Headey was the crime lord. Was the drug lord? Okay, so
I don't see her.
You
as
ever
a
saw
drug
this?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you would in this one. You would in this. It was fucked up, but it's obviously it's taken it's very much taken from the comics from which Dread is derived.
Right.
Forget the Stallone bullshit. Number
I
one,
didn't have a problem with Stallone bullshit too bad. I mean, it was not good, but it wasn't as bad as people say it was.
well, so keep in mind, number one, he never takes the helmet off,
Right.
which is important because Dread never takes the helmet off.
Right.
Two, it was a better depiction of the mega cities, of the mega blocks that people lived in. The squalor of the future was extremely well done. So depicting how pretty much urban sprawl became so compact that people that society had to start building up. So they started building these gigantic. I'm talking like football stadium wide housing projects in order to house people, and they're just like total fucking slums. It's it's like if the slum was just built up into the sky instead of across the landscape. So the visually, it's an excellent film. It's very very inspired. And Carl Urban is fantastic, and it's great because a little behind the scenes, he almost fucked up his voice permanently doing the Dread voice. And he said it's the most fun he's ever had getting hurt doing a production because having to constantly do the like that throughout an entire production is brutal as shit. And so he almost fucked
Bale version of acting.
Pretty much. Where are the other drugs going? That kind of shit.
Where are they going? I was like the college humor when they make fun of him for that one.
Yes, Dread was rated R, extremely R. And Lena Headey was fantastic. Essentially, the story, and this is really, really interesting. Did you ever see the movie The Raid? The Raid Redemption?
I don't think so.
Okay, so The Raid Redemption is an Indonesian film, if I remember correctly. It could be Thai. It might be a Thai film. Actually, I'm thinking it's Thai. Anyway, the storyline is about a group of elite cops who have trained specifically to do one task. They are going to enter into this giant building, this giant like apartment structure, and they're going to make their way to the penthouse, grab this drug lord that they have a warrant for, and they're going to drag him out. The problem is he controls everything in the apartment structure, and his goons, like his little army, is littered throughout the whole thing. So the whole thing is they got to get in through the front door, make their way to the penthouse, get in, grab the guy, and then make it out alive. And so it's a badass fucking action film. It's like really sweet.
Sounds like a good action film. All right, so
yes,
back to
Dread.
Back to the,
Dread took Dread took a bit of that story from that, where they go in to serve a warrant, and then they end up getting trapped in the apartment building run by Lena Headey's character, and then they have to basically get up there, take her out, and then come back out and survive the night.
Interesting. It's like Assault on Precinct 13 wrapped up with. Fuck, it didn't matter. All right, so what plays over the opening credits, JL?
That would be the national anthem.
Live Purge feeds.
Well, but it does start with the national anthem.
You mean I have to go
but you
back?
are correct. You are correct. The movie then begins with the Purge
feeds.
With the emergency broadcast.
All right, I'm gonna give that one to Robert Caslow because he did say the national anthem, so we'll give that to you, Robert. Let's see here. Not quite what I was looking for, but it is technically correct. Oh, you want to
I see what you're saying. Because you said what plays, not what music plays.
Right.
I see where you were going.
All right, you gonna say bye, everybody? Come here. Say good night, everybody. Come here. Oh gosh, you're so big.
Good night, everybody.
Oh, look at that munchkin.
All right, you go get some bed, okay? Go get some bed. Go get some sleep. Golly, maybe I need to go to some bed. All right, so in 2020, in the movie The Purge, in the year 2020, what is the unemployment rate? This one's obscure.
It could be a really easy guess.
It could be. Could be a really easy guess. But this one is a little obscure. You did have to be paying attention to the first film, and it's the only hint I'm going to give you. So yeah.
I'm very curious. I wanted to ask the live chat because you got me kind of inspired here.
Okay.
So this is not a trivia question. The trivia question is what is the what is the unemployment rate at the during the purge at the time of the purge? Robert Caslow.
Probably.
It's over 9,000. But anyway, oh my God. Oh shit.
You see, it happens to us as we get
Oh
older.
no. Eugene just messaged me, and that's not good.
Is everything okay?
Oh, it's he's okay. It's not an emergency. He's okay. Damn. I don't think I should sell that. That's kind of personal for him.
No. Like I said, I just want to. If he's the only question is he okay? If he's cool, if he is physically okay, then that. Yeah, for certain. I definitely don't want.
Oh, anywho, so what I was going to ask the fuck, God, that just blew my mind. Anyway, what I was going to ask the live chat. So we have like 20 people in the live chat. If the purge were real, one, would you partake? And two, what would you do?
That's a good question, actually.
We're going to go dark here.
That is a good question, and I can't believe I didn't think about that one. I have got to get me a new chair.
I got to get one too, and I'm thinking about getting that same one that Team got because I have a bad lower back, and that one he's got has got fantastic lumbar support.
Yeah, I looked at that, and I think I'm with you on that. But mine just keeps, because I'm so fat, it just keeps going. No, the chair is old, and it was old when we got it, so the hydraulics don't work, and because I'm fat.
Robert Caslow, that's an awesome answer. That percentage is awesome, but no.
Ultimately incorrect. Yeah, so that's a good one. What would you do, live chat? What would you do if the purge was real? If we started the purge tomorrow. By the way, one thing that kind of makes me worry just a teensy little bit. I have a bet going with Jackson that he thinks that we're going that within a year, and we made this bet, I think, April. I think it was in April. He says within a year we're going to have a purge. I said I take that bet. I'll bet you whatever. I said if we do have the purge within a year, then I'll buy all of your ammunition for your firearm, whatever.
Nice.
I said, but if it's not real, then you have to fund our trip to Windstar. So I need a funded trip to Windstar. So you guys cool your jets on the purge bullshit.
Let's see here. Little Wolf.
Daryl M., I'm going to retract that simply because I know how that can be taken, and I don't want people to take that the wrong way.
What did he say? Am I behind?
I don't know. Maybe I'm ahead.
I don't see that from Daryl M. Anyway, say Little Wolf. Little Wolf would take part. He would raid tobacco, weed, and spirit shops.
What kind of spirits?
I think whatever he can get his damn hands on.
Yeah, right. The first one's in there. Jeff Roberts says, I try to fill my pockets somehow. With what? Sand? Rocks?
Daryl M., if I could get to Trump, maybe.
That's the one.
Prime target. Oh, and he retracted it.
Shit. Sorry, Daryl. God dang it.
Did you get rid of that? Oh, wow.
I did not mean to. I'm sorry, Daryl. That's not what I meant to do. I hit the wrong freaking button because my screen jumped, and if I showed you the bed of snakes that I've got going on over here next to my mouse. But you are unhidden again. Sorry about that. That is not what I meant to do. My mistake. Daryl. Daryl M. is not 35%.
Let's see. Christ Puncher. I would get all the hockey equipment I could get my hands on.
You are a Canuck.
Robert Caslow. I would burn the building of the bank lobbyists to the ground.
There you go.
yeah. I get behind that.
Daryl M. It's just that I have seen people talk shit about Bush when he was president. When I worked at the bar that I worked at, and sure as shit, just so my DOD contact was sure as shit in the building, and she heard what he said, and because he was making threats against the president, she was obligated to call whoever and report that shit, and fucking Secret Service and the FBI showed up at the bar and pulled a guy out of the bar. No bullshit.
Damn.
Yeah, it was fucked up. Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
Because he made a threat?
Because he was talking about, she said it could be considered a credible threat because he was talking about shooting the president. He said, he was talking about how he would do it and the weapon that he had to do it with. So it was, I don't want, whatever, you know, I ever since then I've been, I don't know, shell shocked about shit like that. So I don't even say, oh, I hope he falls and breaks his nose. I mean, I've said stuff like that, but it's just weird. That and eating flowers in the bathroom. Christ puncher, you don't have to have the purge to eat flowers in the bathroom. Okay. Let's see here.
Don't need mass murder to justify that one.
Nope. Don't need mass murder to justify that one. All right. So here we go. The answer to that trivia question in 2022, what is the unemployment rate? 1%.
Yeah.
1% was the unemployment rate, which is why the purge was so popular, because everybody had jobs. That's another thing that people talk, that film definitely riffed on. As you well know, JL, Americans vote one major issue, and that's their pocketbook. Uh-oh, I got pictures.
Christmas lamps.
Christmas lamps.
That's like human TV shows. Are you ever going to do a Simpsons theme stream?
Hey, see, Christ Puncher says, hey, you guys like movies and TV shows. Are you ever going to do a Simpsons-themed stream? I don't know. I mean, it's possible.
The only thing I would say as far as The Simpsons goes would be looking at the weird coincidence of how many times The Simpsons has supposedly predicted the future.
Right.
I think that's the most talkable about point, or the talkable about point about The Simpsons itself, is all the kind of weird coincidences. Because there are a lot. So that's kind of, I mean, they're obviously coincidences. The writers and animators at The Simpsons are extremely talented and very well informed, and they do a lot of research before they go into each episode. So they are on top of everything. Yes. So yeah, when you're that informed and you have access to that kind of research material, teams of people have been doing this for 3 decades.
Yes.
Yeah, you're definitely going to come up with coincidences along the line, because you see patterns and you can make guesses about things, stuff like that.
All right, so number 5. What is the name of the family at the center of the Purge? Now we're talking about the first film. So what's the family name? Not the first last name, just the last name. What's the family name of the family at the center of the Purge? Christ Puncher, when you do everything, it's bound to happen. This is true.
Yeah.
Okay, so can we both agree that the first Purge was a true thriller horror film, and then everything else afterwards was more just a gore fest? Kill him? How can we kill him?
I can agree with that when it comes to the second one and it comes to the fourth one, and most likely the fifth one when it comes out. I think it's going to come out next year. Mm-hmm. The first one was definitely a horror thriller.
Yes.
The second one was definitely a gore fest. Let's just show the extreme ramped up violence.
Right.
3, the violence was there. The violence and gore was there, but it took a side seat to the narrative, to the political narrative. So, that's why I would actually call that one an action thriller, because the focus was not hardcore on the violence. The focus was on the narrative itself. But then the first Purge went back and did that. Went back to the extreme violence and stuff like that. So that's why I dug the third one a bit. It still had horror elements, but it was definitely more action. More thriller and action, just because you had Frank. You're looking at instead of just people cutting each other up on the streets, you're looking at these are military guys and they don't do slasher shit. So these are military dudes. These are trained professionals who are going out there to do their jobs, and that's kind of another reason why I came back, because it was a slight departure from the themes of the entire franchise, but then it swung back around in the first Purge.
I had an awesome question. I forgot what it was. I'm trying to jar my memory. Oh, okay, that's what it was. Do you think Frank Grillo is a callback to any specific comic book character?
Well, if you
Oh, you were there. Come on, I know you were there. I could see it. It was written on your face.
I do.
It was written all over your skull.
I do. Well, I don't want to sit here and say that yes, he's a callback to Frank Castle.
But isn't he though?
Um.
You didn't get that vibe
Well,
when you watched Anarchy and then the rest of those films. You didn't get that
Would
vibe
you-
that he kind of had this
when you see him in the second one,
because wasn't it his wife and kids that got killed?
yes,
And
it very much has Punisher vibes.
yeah,
But the change in his character is so marked in between 2 and 3
mm-hmm.
that I think only in 2 does it have Punisher vibes. The second one, you could say if Punisher went straight,
yeah,
then yes, I could see that. I could see that in 3.
yeah. So that's I specifically the second film definitely had a Frank Castle vibe to it. It's kind
But
of
Frank
cool.
Castle, the legit Frank Castle, would dominate the Purge.
Fuck yes. Man, did you watch the Punisher series on Netflix?
I did. I absolutely love John Bernthal in that role.
So you're good with John Bernthal that role. I don't hate
Yes, I am.
John Bernthal that role. I like the storyline. I think that's what helps elevate because I just don't see John Bernthal as being Frank Castle. I don't know.
I can see him as Frank Castle when what the moment that sold me, and obviously the first one was excellent. You know, the development of Jigsaw as a bad guy,
Right.
and you know the first season. But when he first showed up in Daredevil season 2, there was a moment where there were actually 2 moments, and the first moment was when the Kingpin betrayed him and left him locked up with 7 guys, and he was unarmed. So he's unarmed, 7 dudes with weapons,
Yeah.
and there's nowhere for him to run because Kingpin's running the prison at that time. And there was that moment when he smoked, and he takes damage. He takes hella damage, but he kills all of them.
Right.
And I was like, okay, that's the Punisher.
I mean,
But the seal on the deal was after that they've got him chained up to where he can barely move, and the Kingpin's there, and the Kingpin's talking all kinds of shit and blah blah blah, and the Kingpin could kill him right then and there, and Frank Castle still busts him with a headbutt and knocks him out. I was like,
yeah,
that's Frank Castle.
Yeah,
That is Frank Castle right there.
I think for me, I see too much Shane Walsh. You know what I mean? Like he brings over. I don't think John Bernthal has individual characters for his roles. I think they're all like they stem from one place. The only character of his that I've seen that I can remember as being vastly different than the Punisher or Shane Walsh or the accountant's brother in The Accountant was when he had that bit role in Date Night.
Oh yes, okay, yeah.
At the very beginning where he's talking about, surfing or whatever.
There is a school of acting. The school of acting, okay, for clarification, the school of acting that I come from a use of the Cohen method. And the Cohen method is about developing the character and then slipping yourself into the character by basically having extreme knowledge of the character.
Right.
By setting up your goal, your objectives, your tactics, and your expectations. And then you basically map out your entire character, and then you kind of insert yourself into that so that becomes you. Then of course there's the like the Stanislavski method,
Right.
where you basically you take your emotions and you saddle, or you basically suppress your emotions and then saddle yourself with the emotions of the character itself, and you in essence become that character. But that takes a toll on the mind. In my personal, just from my personal experience working with people to do that,
Right.
that really wears you out. Which is why Daniel Day-Lewis only does like a couple movies, two films, like maybe even 2 films in every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
But then there's another method, and that is making if the character is open enough, you can basically make yourself the character, which is why John Bernthal seems to come off as a varied version of himself almost every single time. And it's not for a lack of talent. It's
No,
simply the
absolutely
roles
not.
that the roles that he gets. It's easier for him to make John Bernthal Frank Castle. So
Right.
he's basically taking on the attributes of Frank Castle and just incorporating them as John Bernthal.
Right, and again, mine wasn't a negative criticism of his. For me, it's more of it's difficult for me to like separate. You know, like whenever the reason why I couldn't get into Breaking Bad is because I couldn't get Bryan Cranston out of the Malcolm in the Middle role. Even though he played the characters completely different, obviously, I just couldn't. For me, I couldn't separate him. I just kept looking at him, waiting him to make some sort of weird crack up, some weird wisecrack. I keep getting 6 inches shorter this whole fucking stream.
The from what I've heard, fucking, oh god damn it, what's his name? Shit, it totally spaced on it. The guy who created Breaking Bad.
Oh, you would have to ask.
It's right there on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, but the creator said that when he wanted Bryan Cranston for the role of Walter White, the AMC was kind of like, the dad from Malcolm in the Middle.
Right, they were
What?
just
Even they were
Vince
like,
Gilligan.
what?
Vince Gilligan.
Vince Gilligan, yeah.
I
When
had to
Vince
look it
Gilligan
up.
put him up, and it was kind of like everyone was like, "What?" It's like,
Yeah.
no, but then
It worked.
it was in his eyes,
Yeah,
because it was how he looked at someone in a specific way, and that's what sold them on the character when they saw his, I believe, when they saw his tapes, and they were kind of like, "Holy shit, he can go to that place."
and then he
Yeah.
did what was it, Sneaky Pete, where he played a bad guy in that
Yes.
one too, and he did a really good job. So
He was really good.
I could probably go back and look at Breaking Bad now and be able to separate them because it's been, that much time. Anyway, number 5. What was the name of the family at the center of the Purge? Daryl M was correct when he said the Sandins. Oh, getting a call from the old Keithster. Let me see if Keithster wants to get up on this. You coming, buddy? All right. So how many children, number 6, how many children did the Sandins have? How many children did the Sandins have in the first Purge? Remember, at the plot hole and then your answer. Alrighty. So anyway, yeah,
So-
I got a very much Frank Castle vibe from Frank in the Purge.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Especially in the second one, the guy's got skills. He does one thing right, or he does one thing. He does one thing extremely well, and so that's the opportunity to do it until he realizes he doesn't need to do it anymore, and he's able to finally let go of that and become a force for good, which he does in the third film. I liked his character arc. I thought this one of the things that made the third one so good. Is you get that kind of you get the extension of that. He's like, he went through all this shit in the second one. Now he's become a good guy. Now he's trying to stop the whole thing, but he's got to do the exact same shit that he didn't want to do to go and end this thing for once and for all. Which I just like that. The third one was so smart.
I maybe I need to rewatch the third one. I didn't like. I really am not a huge fan of the Purge. I just didn't like the whole idea of it. Maybe it's because I secretly want to go murder people.
See, that's the one thing that gets me. The one thing I think is the most talkable about point on it is that there is, and I'm not condoning the Purge. I'm not saying that I want it. I'm not saying that I see it. But from seeing from both sides, you can see the very, very twisted, fucked up logic that goes behind something like that goes behind shit like that. It's like, how can you justify something like this? Well, at one point we justified involvement in World War II. At one point we justified Jim Crow laws. At one point we justified the 3/5 compromise. So as long as a certain mentality is seen a certain way, I mean, the closest I think for the Purge you can kind of draw an allegory to eugenics and kind of 1984 kind of thing, or no, sorry, a Brave New World, kind of a combination of the two, but more Brave New World, where in the respect that there are a class of citizens that do not provide as much to the society as other classes of citizens, and while that's a very harsh thing to say. But the reality is that there are some individuals that do put more back into the system than other people do. And you will always have a group of individuals that will take more than they will ever put in. and they feel that they have the right to do that. That is their right, as long as they're willing to accept the consequences of doing that. Now, of course, there are also consequences of putting way more into the system. There are a lot of things that you sacrifice. If you're willing to accept that, you can. I mean, that can be your choice. But then when the government comes in and says, "Look at all these positive things we can get if we do this one thing."
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of dangerous because that's really the government. I don't want to say they control us by fear, but they definitely play on our fears to get what they want.
Oh yeah.
So I can see why The Purge would be a successful film franchise, because it definitely takes that to the next level, which is what you want to do in any kind of film.
I kind of looking at it, it almost feels like it feels like it could be a simulator. Like if you went down this road, this is potentially what could happen.
But then again, you get into the whole slippery slope fallacy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just because this means that 10 things down the road are going to happen. It's not
true.
That is fallacious thinking, but it's always fun. Fallacious thinking is awesome for horror films.
Yes, but I like it. But stories like this need to be told, because it'd be like just like Brave New World needed to be told.
Right.
Okay. Like 1984 needed to be told. Animal Farm needed to be told. Right. I'm like fucking Orwell and Huxley up in this bitch. Yeah. But but the Purge needed to be told because people can see how an idea, given speed, this is exactly how shit like, the Holocaust took place, the final solution, because it may not have started that way, but that's where it ended up. Whereas in the Purge, the idea comes along, crime is out of control, population, there's the population is too big, we're running out of resources, unemployment is an all-time high, shit is burning down all over the place. We've got to find a way to solve this. What's the common deal? So that literally is a stopgap measure. Boom, we got to do this. And we got to know it's because it's doing two things. It's getting rid of what they see as the problem, and it's refocusing the American people onto something that they can blame. Right. Instead of blaming the government.
Exactly.
They can blame this.
And see that, yeah, right. So to riff on that, and then I'm going to introduce the Grover. But to riff on what you're talking about is, you see that shit happening now. Talking about the government looking to shift blame from where they're at to, for instance, where we want to shift blame to black people. Like, what they do is inherently wrong. Regardless if you believe that or not, but you can see that narrative. When you look at headlines that hit after Hurricane Katrina, where you had a newspaper headline with this white couple, or these two white people coming out of, they were wading in water coming out of a grocery store carrying, I think it was bread, cereal, and some other food items, talking about, I think the headline read Katrina survivors after finding food. And then the very same day, there was another newspaper that had black people carrying similar food items, and the headline read Katrina victims looting.
Yeah.
We shift blame away from where the problem is. Like, we need to make it, if you're poor, it's because you're not working hard enough. Not because we've rigged the system against you, because you're not doing what you need to be doing. So we're shifting blame off of where it should be onto people who have no control over it. All right, and on that note, everybody say hi to the Grobear,
Hi.
Keith Grobear.
Hey. How's it going? Hey, look at these. First of all, that wonderful, beautiful voice, and JL, what up?
What's up, man?
This freaking awesome dude. Always a pleasure to get the opportunity at least once a week, if I don't pass out on natural sedatives.
that was an
experience. I'm like, I thought it said it was legal. I'm just like,
Jessica G, you're gonna break the algorithm.
She is.
All right,
dude,
so
but no, I'm listening loud and clear. I'm powering up my ear candy, which is my little fancy thing here, because it said it if you're, I know Johnny O is a buff as far as technology goes. It says it's supposed to be good for 14 hours. It's debatable.
Yeah.
I would give it like 6 hours. Anyway, that being said, you have brought up a lot, like 4 things that just like hit my mind like a lightning bolt. Especially with Orwell, 1984, Animal Farm, books and the movies, and there's a lot of graphic novels out there that really.
What part of Animal Farm really got me?
Huh?
Was that part where they had the food fight?
Really?
Yeah. No. Really, JL.
All right. Okay. Let's move.
I can't. I don't have a set to rim shot off of. Okay. What do I gotta.
There you go.
I don't know. I thought you were going somewhere serious, and I was kind of like, really, I want to know this.
No, please, no. We can be serious and not serious.
Animal House, not Animal Farm.
Yeah, I was kind of like
Animal House, like John Belushi.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Really quick. Let's see here. Where were we at? Number 6. How many children do the Sandins have? Jeff Roberts was the first with 2. That is correct. 2 kids who end up killing each other. Spoiler alert. They don't. I was kidding. What group? This is number 7. Trivia question number 7. What group is credited with the idea for the Purge? Now, if you were listening to JL and myself earlier through the stream, we gave you that answer. So again, make sure you add the plot hole with your answer to what group is credited with the idea for the Purge.
And we said the name. We said the name and the acronym.
Yes. Let's see here. Jessica G says the Purge, Team Skeptics, Sex Life. Oh wait, that one already happened. Where's
Damn,
Team Skeptic?
he felt that from here.
He had to have.
See, mine is good, but I'm just not satisfied with it. So I can separate myself from Team Skeptic because I'm not part of it. But like, mine's it's good, but it's just not good enough. I need more.
One thing, Johnny, I'm seriously looking forward to talking about it, and it's kind of interesting that we're doing this now. We're doing the Four Beardsmen tomorrow morning. Was one of the topics that I want to come up with that I wanted to talk about is the advent of CRISPR, and I don't know how familiar you are with it.
One more time, I was reading the chat. Sorry.
Okay. I don't know how familiar you are with CRISPR.
Crispin?
Yeah. No, CRISPR.
Like what you do to vegetables in the refrigerator?
No, it's what you do to human beings. It's essentially what you do to human beings to remove
it from freezing.
It's what you do to human beings to remove failures in the genome.
Oh.
So CRISPR,
teeny tiny.
So CRISPR can do things like eliminate, congenital blindness.
Right.
And it can eliminate spina bifida. It can eliminate MS. I mean, these are things that it can do. That this is a legitimate system that we have recently. It's not a recent discovery, but we've recently seen how it can be applied to human beings. In essence, it's cut and paste for the human genome. So if you don't like you don't like this is something that's bad. CRISPR allows you to go in, take that out, and put in something better.
Has it always been called? That? I need to take.
Yes, yeah, because it's CRISPR. It's CRISPR genes, and it actually stands. I have the acronym. CRISPR is actually an acronym. It's like CRI. It's like CRISPR, and so there are bacteria that do that. That this is a natural function. They do this, and then we discovered that we can utilize that same function in human beings. So like dwarfism, autism, all these things can be removed. It's gone. Thing of the past.
Nathaniel Hawthorne.
Man.
But you know what happens when you read
I really wish I could weigh in on this, but I'm gonna hold back because when I do, it's like a big stupid ass floodgate of Get ready. But man, I got JL. You just like again, like me collecting. Usually, what I do is I collect a lot of information and hear, dude, what you're and it makes total sense, and you're bringing up great points. And when I first joined from point A to point right fucking now, it's past 10, right?
No, it's
9:26.
You're in trouble.
But you know what happens when you breed superior beings, right?
No.
Hey,
no, but your points are like, dude, it's the flow of information, because people that actually enjoy knowledge, whether it be cinema or science, culinary, English, things like that. It's like, dude, if anyone's in the room right now and you're following, it's like you could get a mind boner right now. this thing it always gets real.
All right.
Yeah, I'll blow your mind, but I promise not to think in your mouth.
Oh, Jesus. So, Prime Red.
Hey,
yes.
Everybody say hi to
Gentlemen.
Prime Red. We got him in here.
Gentlemen, glad to be here.
Take me to a date first.
Yeah, right. All right. So the answer to the trivia question: what group is credited with the idea for the Purge? Is the new founding fathers, and the first person to get it was Monk Mayfair. Very good. Good job.
I was going to say the Bengals.
The Bengals, yeah. Number eight.
Yes, Monk Mayfair. When you breed superior beings, you get
Exactly. Yes, superior beings breed superior ambition.
Exactly.
This is how you get the eugenics wars.
Yes.
All right. So, what do people do on the day of the Purge to show their support of it? That's trivia question number 8. What do people do on the day of the Purge to show their support of it? Remember,
They let their cocks hang out.
Shut up.
But a little known thing about Star Trek, and they refer to the eugenics wars and the eugenics wars that produced Khan and those kind of experiments, shit like that. There is a story that is written, and I can't remember the author. I have to look it up real quick, but I remember reading it years ago that drew a connection between you remember the Beauty and the Beast series with Linda Hamilton? Ron Perlman, Linda Hamilton.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So there was a fiction story that was written that connected that story of Vincent, the half lion, half man, Vincent, with the program that would eventually lead to the eugenics wars in the Star Trek universe.
What?
That character is a result of those programs of trying to hybridize human beings and make them superior.
That's pretty cool.
So that was a. Okay, first of all,
an illusion.
I'll reserve content. I'm sorry, comment. What do we have?
Did you have more of your tea?
No. But I have a lot.
He's drinking that midsummer mushroom tea.
No. But it's exactly what I was doing is I did the wrong thing, which was read the paper, Dallas Morning News, and Fort Worth Star Telegram again, which I was talking to Johnny on the phone while I was in the process of getting real life stuff done. And I was just like, man, I do this every time. But also I started, I'm a news junkie a little bit, which is probably to my detriment, but everything that is happening right now and that y'all are talking about that, and I'm also a big Stephen King guy, Animal Farm. I mean, like everything. JL.
Animal Farm is not Stephen King.
No, actually, it's not. But you may know. I'm saying, Keith, what you may be telling is that Stephen King did one very similar called The Long Walk.
Yes,
I know The Long Walk, and even 11/22/63. If you not the series with Franco, but
it wasn't bad, by the way.
No, it wasn't.
The movie was visually kind of like annoying, but the content if you read the book, it told a whole like, whoa, man,
Yeah.
this is crazy. And you know, if you're a Stephen King guy, he's a forward thinker and he's a junkie of history. So that's what it is to be like kind of a human being right now, is to be, you have to be a forward thinker and junkie of history to kind of even exist at the present moment. I'm not on drugs.
Are you sure?
Present moment.
You're kind of making a weird tangent. You're like
No,
forward
no,
thinking,
it's
but then you got to know
relative.
you got to know about the past. They're like
Guys,
two
guys.
colliding philosophies.
Yes.
All right, shut the fuck up. I'm right on your coattails. But you're on the right track with the especially the the cinema. JL, man, like the as far as like the content, the cinematography, the mindset of what it is, what it should be. I mean, it really, it's when you come down to the brass tacks, it's not that really difficult to figure it out. I mean, like you're really on point on this. I'm trying to resist, but I'm starting to become a fanboy of JL.
Why resist? Don't resist the beard. Don't resist the beards.
It's not the fucking beard.
Yes, it is. You're jealous.
It's the
The
stuff.
beard,
Man.
yeah, it is a little bit of the beard because the beard has a glow to it.
It does.
It's
I'm
like
good at my shit. He's good at his shit.
you don't
I'm
see it
liking what I'm hearing.
though, but your brain does. Your brain like processes it, even though your eyes may not actually see it.
Exactly.
But it's there.
There's science in there somewhere.
Okay, so
All right, hang
we
on a
got a
second,
man
hang on a
on
second.
board
Okay, hang on
now
a second,
with
hang on a second.
audio, correct?
Yes. That's
All
Prime
right.
Red. You remember Prime Red. He's been on the show a
I
few
know
times.
Yeah.
All right, so number 8 was, what do the people do on the day of the purge to show the support of it? The correct answer is put flowers in their front yard, and the first person to get that one in was Jeff Roberts. Now, piggybacking on that question, what color are the purge flowers? There are 2 colors. What color are the purge flowers? That's question number 9.
Well, you have no reason not to get this, Jeff.
Jeff, you should get this one. Remember, at the plot hole with your answers. All right, so getting back to the purge, and Prime.
Actually, before you jump on that, Johnny, let me address one thing.
Jumping on that, what do you got?
Thermal Engineer. I did answer you in the chat. Yes, I absolutely love the Arkham horror games. If you get the opportunity, because you're saying that that the family plays it, but not as often as you do. If you another game kind of in that style, which is a little bit easier. It requires some strategy like that, but definitely check out the board game Touch of Evil. Is a really, really, really awesome board game by Flying Frog Productions. You can find it online. You can find it in any board game store. There are 2 expansions to it. There's the Shattered Coast and I can't remember the other one. But anyway, there's 3 games, but each one you can play standalone. So definitely check out Touch of Evil. I think you would really, really dig that one.
I think there's an In Flames song called Touch of Evil.
Man, dude, the Flying Frog in Touch of Evil, yeah, In Flames, and also Flying Frog Brigade was Primus, lead singer, bass player.
Les Claypool.
Les Claypool.
Yeah, Flying Frog Brigade. That dude, you just fucking like opened a can of worms.
All right,
This is the beauty of jail.
Remember, everybody, we're looking for 2 colors. There are 2 colors. Keep that in mind when you put your answers in. All right, so getting back to the purge. So Prime, you're jumping in on this. You say you're not real familiar with the purge, are you?
No, I'm not.
No. What do you think about organized murder? Well, wait, let me take that
I
back.
think a lot of things.
Not organized murder.
That was a
Government-
light question.
Hang on a second. Government sanctioned crime sprees.
I suppose there are good things and bad things about it.
Okay.
You know, depending on how you do it. You know, you could focus it to a certain purpose. You know, maybe you got a building you want to take down. You'd be like, hey, guys, you know, you want to act out your aggression? Just go beat the shit out of that building.
Okay.
No, that's a way. Maybe, you know, if you're in like a really desperate situation, you know, maybe things are really going to shit and like prisons are crowded and things like that. You know, maybe you direct the mob over to handle that prison overcrowding problem. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a politician. You know, there's
Maybe
No,
you should
you're
be.
onto something,
Maybe
though.
you should
You're
be.
onto something. You're onto something there.
yeah. You know, if you gotta let your population, you know, work out some frustration and some anger, there should be a positive outcome that come out of it. That's what I think.
I agree. All right, so getting back to the trivia, what are the colors of the Purge flowers? Everybody got blue correct, but everyone also missed white. Blue and white is a correct answer. Blue and white are the Purge flowers. All right, and lastly, who is Grace? In the Purge film, the first one, who is Grace? This one's a little obscure. Okay, and to kind of wrap up
guys,
this,
come on.
yep, to kind of wrap up this here Purge debate, JL, I would like for you to give me, or not give me, but give the audience your top 5 reasons for watching the Purge series.
The top 5 reasons to watch it.
Yeah, for watching the Purge series.
Oh,
Top 5 reasons why you think the Purge series should be considered with all the relevant horror films.
top 5 reasons to watch The Purge. Number 1, they're a decently crafted set of movies. They're not terrible in their production value, so they're at least fun to watch. Number 1, the Purge series is at least a fun franchise to watch. Number 2, solid, strong violence and gore for the big gore hounds out there, for the people who really like seeing shit hit the fan and in interesting ways. So 2, good violence, good gore. 3, narrative. It actually has a strong narrative throughout the franchise. Given the fourth one was not so great, just as far as acting wise, it was kind of shoddily put together, but the narrative is good throughout all of it, and hopefully that will continue to the 5th one. So 3, good narrative. 4th, solid continuity, making for a very, very good franchise. You get to see returning characters return in the next film. So you see the character of the Stranger returns. Frank Grillo's character returns. So really, really good continuity that makes with good character arcs. So really, really excellent writing in that respect. That makes it fun to watch because you get to see what happens to these characters next, which oftentimes in horror films, you don't get to see that. You see one-offs, and then we move on to the next. So I like that. That'd be 4. Great characterizations. And 5, I would say, to get a glimpse at a very scary but very possible future of America. Just like watching Brave New World, just like watching, like reading The Long Walk, just like watching these things, you could see that in some alternate timeline, especially given the administration that we have now, given the things going on in America now, you could definitely see that this could be a real thing. And it's having stories that do that tell you are obviously we need to think about these things. We need to embrace these things because we don't want them to happen. And these movies give a very, very strong sense of how we could get to this point and also how we can avoid getting there as well, because it broaches both subjects: how to stop it, how to get there, and how to stop it. So just for I hate to say a horror film is educational, but from that respect, I guess from a philosophical standpoint, they're really, really good in talking about a difficult subject.
Well, JL, you convinced me. I'm going to watch the Purge movies now.
All right.
That was a great analysis. Definitely a great analysis, JL, because I'm if I would say I'm a cinema buff at all, it would be more in the area of
rom-coms.
But it's more, but really comedy, a satire, and satire is the most funny. Just kind of giving a different perspective, different kind of character of life. But you gave the greatest, like what is the most kind of more powerful kind of like perspective on what is scary are the things that could happen, or have happened, or are happening. And that is the biggest horror. Those are the biggest horror movies that we can ever imagine. And creative minds like yourself are on the forefront of, because you're filmmaking, really kind of grasping that idea. And not.
Well, I kind of have to disagree with you there a bit, Keith. I don't think Nightmare on Elm Street is possible at any time or any place.
So what I was saying, it was so putting that in perspective and kind of planning those. I'm not discounting what you were saying there. I'm sorry about that.
I'm just fucking with you, man.
No. But the most scary shit is the stuff that actually either has happened that we have proof of, or could happen, or we're in the middle of that we don't necessarily see. Because as people, what used to sell movie tickets when we can go to the movies was the things that freak people fucking out. It's after 10, I think. I can say fuck.
No, you're still before 10.
Nah, fuck it. Okay, so sorry guys, I just fucked it up. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, but
there's a man who has run out of fucks, but is now able to say fuck.
JL, you hit the nail on the head twice. Like I just barely joined. It's like, dude, wow. Tonight, and as far as like sentiment and artistic mind thinking and artist creation, you're exactly correct. I mean, I see the paintings behind you. It's like those are the weirdest shit. It's like that's the freakiest shit, because the scariest shit can actually happen.
Sometimes. All right, so here we go. Let's see. But Wes did get part of the idea for Nightmare on Elm Street from a news article. This is true. There was a kid who was suffering from night terrors, wouldn't go to sleep, did everything he could to keep himself awake because he thought the boogeyman was going to get him in his sleep. Ended up dying because he just didn't go to sleep. Yeah, lots of fun shit.
Yeah, but a crazy freak with a bladed hand is not going to tear you apart in your dreams.
Look, okay, you have to stop looking at it as a literal thing, okay?
Yes, but Prime, how many murders have taken place where someone's died while they were asleep because they were attacked and they were stabbed to death, and it was just assumed that someone else in the house may have done it, but they proclaimed their innocence, but the evidence was there, it was them, but they proclaimed their innocence all the way to the chair. And they were, we never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say this never fucking happened.
All right, so let's getting back to the trivia to wrap up the number 10. Who is Grace? The Sandlins, Obnoxious Neighbor, and Jeff Roberts got that correct. And with that, Jeff Roberts actually is our wieners. Everybody say yay.
Hey. Go, Jeff.
Go, Jeff. You got 3 of the questions
Congratulations,
correct.
Jeff.
Congratulations, Jeff.
All the way.
Yeah, send me your mailing address at theplothole1@gmail.com, and I will ship you your prizes. Let's see. Monk Mayfair, if you die in your dreams, will you ever know?
You will probably not.
Johnny O, just if anyone's listening and to raise the ante, if I can find a nice sealed bottle of a local hot sauce, and I will put that in the package with his prize, and so anyone that tunes in later that feels the need to come in and interject, we're always willing to up the ante
with some burning butt sauce. All right, so this has been.
You let me know. We'll talk. Me and Johnny will talk about that later, and
We'll
I
talk.
will up the ante. I've got some good stuff. It's not expired.
It doesn't expire. It just gets better with age.
It just gets more painful.
More painful. All right, so let's see. That was the Purge. Next month, which is what is next month? August.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be Texas Chainsaw Massacre time. That one's going to be fun. We're going to make sure and have good panel for this one here. Eugene,
lick my plate, you dog dick.
What's that?
Lick my plate, you dog dick. Remember that thing? That was horrible.
Oh, yeah, it was terrible. Anyway, so here we go. Next month is going to be the, God damn it, Leatherface. We're going to talk about Leatherface. We're not going to do Ed Gein. That film will leave off. Even though Leatherface is Ed Gein, we're not going to do that one. That one's going to be off the table. But yeah, we're going to have a full panel for that one, so I'm going to get to work on it. JL, I'm assuming you're coming back for this one?
Oh, I will.
That's a good one. We'll have more prizes to give away. I think I have a Leatherface up there. If not, I will have a Leatherface to give away. But
Shockingly, I will be defending the remake.
No, we're saving the remakes.
No, that's part of the canon.
I know it's part of the canon, but that remade the first one, right?
Yeah. Okay. So are we talking about just the original?
Yes.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So right. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and then New Generation.
Yes.
Okay, just the 3.
Yeah, just the 3. We have to. Okay. Matthew McConaughey has to be in the.
Somehow. Oh yeah, Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger. But of course, my man Bill Moseley is Chop Top. Come on.
Yeah, very good. So that's gonna be fun. That'll be next month. We haven't quite set the date for that one yet, but Little Wolf. Yes, I thought the remake was pretty good too. I do like how they said they were going to remake the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, except less gory. So the people who watched the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre weren't watching because it wasn't that gory.
It wasn't. It wasn't in the extreme gore, but it didn't need to be.
No.
The production design on that film was amazing.
Yes.
And, I mean, it was kind of like all we need to do is just capture the setting in the perfect way. The house.
Yes.
The little mini mart that they run.
Didn't they use that house for the Brady Bunch?
No.
There's another one. There's another horror film.
There's a different horror film that used it. Yeah, there's a different horror film that used the same set as the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
But the house that they used in the remake, you can see that straight down 35. If you run down 35 towards Austin, just outside of Austin, on the that side. If you're going south, it's on the right, but you can see it. It's a big open farmland. You can see it set back there on the back. It's badass.
Yeah.
Don't drive up to it. It's a private residence.
It is private residence, and they're not cool with you driving up on them.
Do it anyway. See what happens.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm joking.
Don't do it. Oh, PhD Tony in the chat. You know what? I need to do something.
No way. Are you serious?
Yeah, PhD Tony. He likes to lurk. Let me see here.
PhD is awesome.
PhD Tony, he's got a new video out, so I want you to put the link to your new video in the chat. I'm looking forward to checking that out. PhD Tony is going to be on the Plot Hole podcast next Friday. We're going to stump. Nice. We're going to stump. I don't know how. I haven't figured it out yet. But the glacial isostatic adjustment guy, we're going to stump him. I got it right this time, Tony. Ha ha.
Hey man, PhD has only a few days to half a day to research it. He'll figure it out.
Hey, Tony. Out there, just want to let you know tomorrow. One of the topics I'll be bringing up, just so I don't know how much you know about it. You probably know more than I do about it, but I really want to talk about CRISPR tomorrow and the potential effects it's going to have on society once that really kicks off. So
that doesn't really lean in the point and laugh guys' wheelhouse at all.
Yeah, it's not something I'll really be able to, make light of.
Oh man. Okay, let's see here. You know what? We've been doing this for almost 2 hours now. Golly. Time flies when we're talking horror films.
Yes, it does.
It is a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
Yes, and you know what, JL, if Johnny is doing a voice for your film, I would like to audition for a voice role myself.
It's not a voice role. It's an actual acting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on camera.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So, yeah. I need everybody to.
I'm not in Texas, right?
Is our man you're a voice guy? So do you have a favorite voice that you like to portray?
No, not really.
Him.
No, not you, JL. I know you're a badass. Look, I'm already.
Oh, I'm sorry. I actually am a professional voice actor, so I voice act. I do that. So I wasn't sure if you're talking to me or if you're talking to the man down below.
Look, I know your credentials. You're badass. JL, you're a killer.
I wish I had a voice actor worthy voice myself.
You might. I think you do actually. Oh, what is going on?
You know,
Johnny, you think I may have a voice actor quality voice?
I think you could pull it off. I think you could do it with
I
the
don't
right
know.
characters.
right.
It just takes practice and finding where your voice is the strongest.
Yeah.
So where you feel most natural, and then finding out what your natural skills are. So if you're really good at enunciation and you can speak very clearly and concisely, that can be really, really good, because some people they can slur their words together. They have a natural slur between their words, and that can hurt them. They may have a great voice, but their delivery is not great. So it is literally, I would say, having done it and having voice acted for the past 13 years, it's really more. It really is more technical than you would think. I would actually say it's probably 80% technical and 20% kind of acting, kind of
Right.
like characterization, like developing a voice. Because you can do all kinds of different stuff, but but if your delivery is not right, you're never going to get in there. So
Yeah.
There is
You're
definitely
exactly right. When I worked with the Travel Channel and the local news and Food Network, it was a matter of, I know what I want to say. I know who I am. I have to put my own personality behind it. And I'm sorry, what is your name again? If you wouldn't mind me
Prime
asking.
Prime Red.
Sorry about that. But it really is. You can be yourself and find your natural voice in it, but you have to really deliver. You have to make people know this is who I am. This is the role that you're looking for, and really carry through. And a good thing is if you can adjust one way or the other. Prime example, Christopher Walken's and the Foo Fighters. Today we got the Foo Fighters. He can be himself. He never has to adjust his voice. He didn't even say the fucking name right.
do you do you know where
SNL and come on the stage and the Foo Fighters?
Keith, do you know where Christopher Walken actually developed that voice? What that voice is, his delivery.
I would love to know.
His vocal delivery is based off of his dad, because his dad was not a native English speaker when he immigrated over here. So when his dad finally kind of got a hold of English, that was how he spoke. So he's literally doing a copy. He's mimicking his father when he speaks like that.
Like his cadence and his tone and his personality that he can express. Not only it's mainly vocal, and it's not as much physical. Like a lot of people have to submit to their physicality. No, not with him. He's like
coming in with the wrong tone. It's the wrong tone. You do it again. I'll stab you in the face with a soldering iron.
You're talking to me the wrong way. And that's the way, because besides musicians, I have a lot of vocal and
Keith, you're killing me.
No, vocal heroes, and Howard Stern. He emulates his family.
He emulates everybody.
His family mostly.
That's true.
But
all right, so we're wrapping this up right now. We are going to all say our goodbyes. Prime Red, we got you on for the tail end of it a little bit. I wanted to... Your cousin, Prime Truth, I like his style. So you go ahead and give.
He's not my cousin. No.
You said
he's my clone.
Oh, I'm sorry, your clone. My mistake.
Yes.
My mistake. Sorry, Prime Truth.
That's okay.
So go ahead and give
Johnny.
us your good, what's up?
Oh no, the PSG. So who's fighting in UFC?
I don't care. Two idiots.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, I'm not a UFC fan. I don't like UFC. I like boxing. It's a real sport. UFC, two idiots.
Yeah, I don't like people beating the look, man.
Anyway,
No,
let's let Prime Red tell us what you got coming up, what you got going on, and where we can find your stuff.
Yeah, Prime Red on YouTube, and I'm still trying to come up with something to do next. I want to do something a little bit different, so I'm got some ideas that are kind of going back and forth, but nothing solid at the moment. I do want to get something out soon, though. I've started streaming on my channel, as well. I was playing Spider-Man and then Shadow of War, Middle-earth Shadow of War. So you can check me out there as well. So yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Awesome. Keith, short, sweet, to the point. What you got?
Thank you for telling me that, because I get long-winded. Check me out, Damian Grover, DAMIENGROB as in boy ER Grover at Facebook.com. I'm trying to kick a lot of ass on there on the Facebook Lives. Really promoting the plot hole on www.rockmetaltalk.com. Check us out on YouTube, Patreon app.
Yep.
I do what I can.
You were there.
And then we're also working on a show, myself and Johnny O, because my real true talent is entertainment, but more so towards culinary. So if you like to eat home, if you're a home chef, if you're a real chef, if you're a bitch-ass motherfucker in the trenches that just collect a paycheck, watch my stuff. We will teach you how to be the next level professional freaking person.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun show. We're going to I think we're going to do 15 episodes on that cooking show. It's going to be a lot of fun.
We're not screwing around here.
Nah, it's going to be a barbecue. We're working the grill. So
we're talking Q on crack. And I've never done crack, but Q.
Oh, Jeff Roberts, I'll put it in the chat for you. Hang on. Sorry, Keith.
No, Q on crack.
All right, and then last but not least, Mr. JL Truth. What you got going on?
JL Truth.
Oh, yeah, so many things. So thank you so much, everybody in the live chat, for checking us out and sitting with us tonight for this little discussion on the Purge. It was a lot of fun. Hopefully, next week we'll be able to fill up the entire panel and be able to have a good discussion on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So, Master Debaters, check us out here on Sunday or on Saturday next month. Yes, and also thank you everybody for checking out Week in Horror. Week in Horror is my podcast. We deliver new episodes every single Sunday. New episode drops tomorrow. We have a special guest on that one. Special guest Don Anelli. He joined us to bring his Encyclopedia Horror-Tanica to Week in Horror. So that was a lot of fun. I think that'll be a good episode. You can check us out at weekinhorror.net, or you can email us at weekinhorror@gmail.com. As always, you can follow us on our social media at Facebook and at Twitter at Week in Horror, or facebook.com/weekinhorror, and get your daily splatter in, which is a little bit of horror knowledge every single day. If you really, really love what we're doing, definitely check out our Patreon, patreon.com/weekinhorror. We have tiers as low as $1 a month, $1 a month, and we'll give you a big shout out on the show, and you can help us get to do the things that we want to do, like make original horror content, making horror movies and stuff like that. And it all goes to supporting the show and improving our production quality. And we really love you guys if you do that. Only if you can, though. We know times are tough. If you really also like what we do, we now have merch. You can check us out at teespring.com/weekinhorror. We have our merch store. We have a season 1 t-shirt up, and we also have a coffee mug. Thank you, Johnny, for picking one of those up. And we also have a YouTube channel. YouTube, and we're not at YouTube/Week in Horror, but Week in Horror on YouTube. Just search us there. You can subscribe to us, like our videos. We put the audio out for all of our podcasts on there. You can check that out. And as always, stay scared.
Yeah,
dude, that sales pitch was on point, man.
That was.
You got that. You got that memorized.
JL.
I'll get in on that.
There we are.
That was a performance.
That was. All right.
I was just rambling off the top of my head. Gerber was just rambling. JL's like zoom, 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 like a laser.
JL's got his shit on point.
He just brought the noise.
He did. Now I don't know how I'm going to follow that up. I will say this. I appreciate everybody coming out tonight and sitting with us while we do our chats. It wasn't quite the debate we were looking for, but it's the debate you got. You can check us out, rockmetaltalk.com, every Friday night for the plot hole, 8 o'clock Central. I don't know what it is in Western Australia, but whatever. This Friday we've got PhD Tony, the glacial... Damn it, I fucked it up. Glacial
You fucked it up.
I did such a good job earlier. Glacial isostatic adjustment specialist coming on
Johnny,
the show. Hang on a second.
You fuck up sometimes?
Oh, sometimes. It happens.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
PhD Tony is going to drop the bomb on you.
It's gonna be fun. I'm
I'm
going to
saying,
try
he already-
and stump him. I'm
PhD's
going to
gonna
try.
know that Johnny already fucked up.
That's true.
Okay. Everything you've said about me, Keith, I strive to be PhD Tony level. I do. That's like the goal.
A fucking killer badass. I'm just regular fucking rocker metal dude, but that knows things. But yeah, you fucking bring it. Johnny O has the best voice in the area. If I would say like the fucking state or our region, but the good doctor, man, he knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Well, I don't. Well, you know,
The PhD.
PhD's guy. And PhD Tony,
Take
you
the
weren't here for the
compliment.
first one,
Shut
but I
up.
got the first one right. I got it right. You missed it, and of course, as soon as you show up, I fuck it up. I flub it. So, damn it.
I'm sorry. Of course.
Of course.
That's that intimidation factor.
The thing is, it's not the intimidation factor. It's just it's me being old and tired. Anyway,
You failed your awe check.
I did. Damn it.
Excuses are like
Jeff
assholes.
Roberts says Room 904. Look into it. That is the newest plot hole video. Please go check it out. Share it with all your friends. There's a lot of people that are upset with this film coming out, or this documentary coming out. So to those people, I say stick with the truth. You'll be fine. So PhD Tony did hear the first one. There we go. See, yes.
PhD,
Vindication.
Shout
Vindication.
out from the great state, or a great state. I think maybe until tomorrow.
We'll see what happens. All right. Anyway, so plot hole every Friday night, 8:00 Central, and then Saturdays. What do we do on Saturdays? Usually Master Debaters done like once a month. So we'll do Texas Chainsaw Massacre that happens next month in August, and then September. What is happening in September? There's something that's specific in September. It's like Friday the 13th because Friday the 13th actually
11th.
happens.
The 11th.
That's in November.
November is Friday the 13th. What is September? What am I missing on September then?
What was September? You have it written down.
I did. And
Halloween.
No, Halloween's in Halloween. It's in October.
What?
November was Friday the 13th. December is golly. What is the matter with me? I can see
You have to look it up.
It's
What is the
Regan.
matter with you?
You know what? Speaking of which, because of all these things, you reminded me because there's a Friday the 13th in November, and
Right.
Halloween this year is on a Saturday,
Right.
and there was a 420 April 20th was on a Saturday as well, and we actually had two Friday the 13th. I think the other one was in May, but there were so many extra things, and the 4th of July was on a Saturday.
Right.
Everything about all the holidays this year were fucking excellent.
Except
Everything was perfectly placed. Because of
That
that,
never happens.
yeah.
exactly, it never happens. But because of that is the reason 2020 sucks so bad. You can't have that many good holidays in a row where we can all finally take time off and enjoy ourselves and get high and go trick or treating and do all this shit and have fun. You can't have that much fun in a year. So 2020 had to bite back and be like, no, here's all of this to kind of balance out the fun you're going to have. So
September was
Hey,
Hellraiser.
guys.
In 2020,
Hellraiser.
Fuck it up.
So,
Hey
yeah.
guys, I just had an idea. I want to talk to you off stream
Okay, we'll do that.
and
We will do that.
see what you guys think.
Cool. Let me wrap
Johnny,
this
there's
up.
something I need to chat with you about as well.
Okay.
Hey, I have to talk to you guys too also.
Okay, Keith.
He's
Anyway,
got FOMO.
the rest of you guys are not invited, but
Anyway, make sure you continue to check out all the socials for the plot hole, for Weekend Horror, for Prime Red, and for Damien. Do that. It's a lot of fun. Keith actually does the Facebook Lives periodically throughout the week, 2 or 3 times a week. A lot of
I
fun.
brag on all you guys. I brag on you a lot because I really appreciate your input and your intellect, and I believe that we have it's almost like being part of a cool team. If you're a listener right now or a potential subscriber or anyone that wants to be a part of what we're doing, we're really just kind of a sounding board for fun history. We've got a group of talent here that covers all bases, and it's an amazing experience to be a part of it. And we would like you to join our. I wouldn't go so cultish to say family, but just fucking hang out with the club.
Yeah. And on that note, you'll catch us next month on Master Debaters Weekend Horror with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So here we go. We're gonna play it now.
Right on.
Cheers, guys.
See you guys. Yeah.